The world is losing their minds because Trump said a mean thing about Bitcoin. Well, I personally could not be more pleased and find myself siding more with the Miami Dolphins, who have adopted Litecoin as their official cryptocurrency. The SEC approves a public token sale for American investors, and Samsung gets bullish on Ethereum. Let's break it all down in today's exciting episode of Breaking Bitcoin. Welcome to Breaking Bitcoin, recorded live for you on Friday, July 12th. Yes, 12th, 2019, foul year of our Lord. I am your host, Justin Wise, lead analyst and senior mentor at Cracking Cryptocurrency. I hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic today, wherever you happen to be tuning in from, and whether you're watching us on YouTube, Twitch, DLive, Facebook, or on Roku at the Investor News channel. If you guys want to support the show, make sure to subscribe, follow, share, and engage. In the live chat, and for you YouTubers, hit the thumbs up button. We appreciate it. Now, today's episode of Breaking Bitcoin is brought to you by us. If you are tired of Telegram groups leaving you holding the bag and you would like to trade with serious traders who focus on education, risk management, capital preservation and growth, statistical analysis, deriving an actual edge in the market instead of just, hey man, buy here, sell here, good luck, then check out the Cracking Cryptocurrency Premium group at premium.crackingcryptocurrency.com. We also provide you with proprietary tools, indicators, strategies, mentors, and our entire community to support and push you forward to reach your potential. Again, that's premium.crackingcryptocurrency.com to get signed up today. Now, Premium Trading Group updates made some big, not big, but quality of life updates to our database, right? So I started off with the Premium Members Online Access Database. So, rank ordered, I've gotten that request for a long. There's so much content on there that I commonly get asked, hey man, can you put out an index, like start here? And although that is pretty well laid out, I just made it a little easier. So everything is rank ordered in order of importance. So if you are a new member, start your education here and work your way down through the more advanced concepts. I also made a change to the simple position size calculator that a lot of you guys are using for one trade. So previously we were doing the mathematics to do the unleveraged exchange position size in the advanced position size calculator. So I've actually created a second tab down there on the spreadsheet so that you're going to have your leveraged exchange. If you have access to leverage, it's going to produce a certain position size. And if you are limited by the capital that you have on deposit on the second tab, that is going to be your unleveraged or spot exchange position size. So that's available in the position size calculator that is in the Premium Members drive. Of course, the Premium Plus and above members have access to the advanced position size calculator that does a lot of the stuff automatically. And of course, we're going to be publishing version 2 here really soon that me and Jonathan have been working on. Big shout out to you, Jonathan, over there. Thank you so much for your help. We're going to be publishing that really soon, and it does even more for us automatically and really helps us really nail down the nuances of where your dollars and cents go without you having to do a lot of the math that most individuals were previously doing before. Because it is that math, it is drilling down into where your dollars and cents are going to become a truly profitable trader. Now, if you guys want to support the Discord server or just hang out, head over to discord.crackingcryptocurrency.com. And if you have Discord Nitro and you would like to make the Discord server better for everybody, we would appreciate your support. We have a special role for you if you would like to boost our server. Yesterday's crypto comment giveaway winner was, of course, Crypto Caveman, coming up there to my north. My northern brother, thank you so much for the continued support. Tipped you some crypto yesterday. If you would like to win, all you need to do is leave a comment at the end of today's video. And as such, we will start today's video off, as we always do, by tipping some crypto. So let me go grab the URL. Actually, I have it loaded up over here. Yesterday's video was how shorts dictate Bitcoin's price and will we ever see alt season yet again? If you are an altcoin investor, holder, trader, if you like altcoins, if you think they sound cool, I recommend you go watch that video. And if you want a clearer understanding of shorts, I highly recommend you go check that video out as well. Also, Premium members, go take a look at the market analysis channel this morning. I did a big update on my intraday positions on Bitcoin and Ethereum. Published that this morning around 9 a.m. And also, wrote a dossier on exactly how to position size and hedge your capital, specifically for BitMEX and specifically for ByBit. Because even though I've covered that at length in the educational content, there's still a lot of questions, and I'm absolutely here to help you guys out. So just published a better primer on that, so make sure you guys go read that. All right, so let's switch over into the live scene. All right, here we are in the live scene. It feels like I had the music on that entire time, huh? I did have the music on that entire time, even for the teas. Awesome. All right. All right, let's randomly pick a winner. We had 24 commenters and Aaron Webb. What's going on, my good man? Long comment. We'll go ahead and read it. He says, the reason we haven't seen altcoins do anything and go lower is because Bitcoin never consolidated and instead had this huge momentum run after... Oh, you guys can't see. Ha! Thanks, guys. Good looking out, man. Justin, we can't see. Well, we're just here for the TA, bro. Just teasing, guys. Here it is. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. Get Streamlabs up over here. Looking good. Standing Lotus 85. Thanks so much for the follow over there on Twitch. And Rabba, Patrick, Uber, and Rabbit. Thank you guys so much for following over there on the YouTubes. By the way, speaking of which, I think we're going to do something. Actually, you guys will see it when we switch over to the news later today. I got something neat for you guys to check out. So, Aaron Webb says... It had this huge momentum run up after the bear market. Alts aren't dead and they still hold value, but more and more people are dumping the alts because they are tired of losing their money. It's crazy to think that Bitcoin never really consolidated anywhere. People thinking we would at 4,500 to 5K or 6,400, now 8,500. It still hasn't happened. We are in a triangle pattern on the one day, which will typically result in a measured move to new yearly highs or down to 9K. So no consolidation anytime soon. I think with how so many people lost with alts, when Bitcoin does consolidate somewhere, maybe between 9K and 12K, people are going to be too weary to invest in alts, so I see the alt season is going to struggle a little bit, except for the top 10 alts or so, and a few fad coins. I personally am supporting Bitcoin, and any good trade with a top alt is just a bonus. So I agree with your summary. I absolutely agree with your summary, and I do know that it is common knowledge, and that's not to say that it's not inaccurate. So I want to say that I overall agree with everything that you said, brother. Now, what I will say is this. The idea that alts become very bullish when Bitcoin consolidates, so that is a subjective measure. So when you consolidate, what is that metric? What is that time frame, right? And how are you determining that? So I would argue that Bitcoin, when alts did their most bullish activity, so when altcoins reached their zenith, Bitcoin was dropping like a meteor, right? So Bitcoin dropped from 19,000 down to 9,000, bounced back up. That was not consolidation. That was high, intense volatility, the most volatile asset that you could possibly trade. Penny stocks, get out of here. And during that same time period, altcoins went from bloop, because their underlying dollar value did not massively jump up that much, right? A lot of people made a lot of Bitcoin. A lot of people made a lot of Bitcoin trading alt to Bitcoin pairs. But they didn't actually make that. I mean, don't get me wrong. A lot of people did become very wealthy from trading those BTC pairs because many alts outperformed Bitcoin against the dollar during that same period in time. But since if they sold back into dollars, they sold back into Bitcoin and then back into dollars because there weren't many markets for alt to USD at the time. So you had to go through Bitcoin, and Bitcoin's purchasing power against the dollar was diminishing. So that is why so many millionaires did not emerge from the altcoin bull market, right? Because they're looking at an alt Bitcoin chart and they think that that means alt dollars. It doesn't. It means alt to Bitcoin. When Bitcoin to the dollar goes down, an alt's value against Bitcoin is generally going to go up unless there is, for some reason, excessive selling of the underlying alt USD pair. And really, that's not even true what I just said, the alt USD pair. The alt BTC pair is really the underlying pair because it's the highest liquidity trading volume for just about any alt pair. So during that time, we saw the most bullishness of alt to Bitcoin pairs when Bitcoin was dropping like a meteor from 19K after our all-time high. That's when alts peaked. It was my personal opinion that was retail. It was a combination of several things. You have retail traders coming in, seeing Bitcoin at its zenith and thinking that Bitcoin is too expensive. So they're going to buy these altcoins because they're going to want the same price appreciation because most of them are capable of basic math. So you have that. And then you also have huge Bitcoin positions that were also established in altcoins that helped accelerate everything up and exit pump out so they could get out with the most amount of Bitcoin possible because those individuals did not sell their Bitcoin at the top against the dollar. Big combination of factors here. Whales pushing the market up, retail guppies coming in and pushing the market up as well, and then getting dumped on, and then everything just went sideways. So Bitcoin consolidated for a very long time. Bitcoin consolidated for a very, very long time at 9,000. at 9,000 and then 6,000. And there was no massive bullish altcoin run. I mean, historical volatility dropped to its all-time low right before Bitcoin dropped in November. And then Bitcoin consolidated at the bottom around 3K for quite a while. And alts did not put in some good performance. It wasn't really only until, actually that's not quite true. Alts did perform well. Alt Bitcoin pairs did actually perform quite well. That's another thing that I point out. Like, we've already had an alt season, right? A lot of alts like went from to whoop, pretty good. And I think a lot of people are just like, well, that wasn't 500x, that was only 100x, so that doesn't count. I think that a lot of people are misrepresenting what alt season really is. So I digress. And last. Thanks, Malicious. And I think that when people look at now, when Bitcoin consolidates and alts do pump, then you are actually making quite a bit of money because the Bitcoin valuation against the dollar is stable. So meaning that when you sell back into your underlying, so when you go from alt to Bitcoin back to dollars, you've actually made quite a tidy profit because the Bitcoin to dollar ratio has stayed fairly stable, within, let's say, a variance of 10%. And the alt to Bitcoins have outperformed against the dollar against Bitcoin in terms of price appreciation. So that is a profitable time to trade alts. But the highest, everybody looks at the alt BTC charts. The alt BTC charts do not matter. You have to look at BTC to USD over the same time period to actually get an established value. It doesn't matter how much alts are worth in Bitcoin if Bitcoin is not worth much against the dollar, because we have to value something against something, right? So, the only thing, unless you fall into the small range of people who do value their wealth in Bitcoin, looking at the alt BTC pairs as an actual estimate of how much money you're making in USD terms is not accurate. But very good comment. Don't take any of that like I'm coming at you, bro. I'm just giving my thoughts and opinions on this very controversial topic, on this very heated topic, and just trying to apply a modicum of logic and mathematics to it as well. I think we've seen an alt season. Look at what BNB did. I think we've seen big price appreciation in altcoins, and a lot of people just thought that it was going to be the same thing and reach all-time highs. And I honestly don't think that's going to happen for a lot of altcoins. So we'll see. The more alt, again, I said here's the two big things that can give us a real good altcoin market and change altcoins from being, well, it depends on what Bitcoin's doing. It depends. And that is going to depend on what Binance does. If we can get more altcoin pairs, like all altcoin pairs that are traded on Binance, for example, which is the highest liquidity exchange in spot, if we can get them to properly do shorting on almost all the altcoin pairs, then we can have a real market. Or if we can get more alt to USD markets with more liquidity, we can have a real market. And those markets allow you to short as well. So ideally, you would have something more like a traditional Forex exchange where you can trade multiple alts against the dollar and you can trade multiple alts against Bitcoin and also short. Now, Binance can do all of this, right? It would be nice if Binance, like for example, if Binance US added a bunch of alt pairs that Americans can trade and allowed you to short and long against the dollar and against Bitcoin, that would be amazing. And then we could have a real alt market. And then we could really, look at those on their own. Eli Bak, man. What's going on, my dude? $5 super chat coming in strong, coming in fast. Good afternoon, my man. Please take a look at DGB when you can. I appreciate it. Yeah, man. What happened to X-Haven? We're off X-Haven. We're on to Digibyte. Let's go. Rockin' Digibyte. You are on the request list, man. You're on the request list. You're going to be number one on the request list. Eli Bak. All right, hang around. We've got a lot to go over. So, Aaron Webb, thank you so much, though, for your support, my brother. Get a hold of me in the Discord, JustinWise5696, and I will tip you some crypto. Starting off, let's just look at the bubbles, man. Let's look at the bubbles. What's the day look like? It's not a bad day. It is not a bad day out there, guys. Junction down 29. I looked at this yesterday. It was a pump and dump. BNB up 6.2. Raven up 8.4. Dentacoin up 12.6. Looking pretty good. All right, let's get over to the Bitcoin chart. This is exactly... I'll give you guys an update into what I posted to the group last night, and then correlate that with what I said yesterday. So I've got a lot going on right now as far as Bitcoin goes. Took the 4-hour PTP short. All right, we'll go down and look at that here in a moment. Took the 4-hour PTP short. Okay. On BitMEX. Okay. Took the 4-hour PTP short on BitMEX. Wick down, hit 2 of my 3 take profits. My stop losses at break even on that, letting that puppy ride. Just as a hedge, right? So open that up, took another short position yesterday as well to the downside, hit 2 of 3 take profits, stop loss on that at broke. So that's pretty good. And the way, so for that to make sense, like obviously you can't put on multiple positions on XBT USD, but what you can do is add to your position, have a stop loss for a smaller amount of contracts, have take profits. You can run multiple positions. It's just more complicated, right? You have a established position up here and you can have an average entry price. Yeah, I digress. And the second trade was a little bit smaller because it was, again, another tertiary trade or a lower time frame trade. And I put 40% of my normal capital into the second XBT trade as I posted to the guys in the group. Now, so there's all of that. On top of that, what else did I do yesterday? I did a lot. Let me go look at my... Come on, man. Here we go. Okay, on top of that, also took Ethereum to the downside. Excuse me. Yeah, okay. Took Ethereum to the downside as well for the initial short, entered at 290 on that one, ended up pulling a very nice profit off of that. Took a scalp long on Ethereum USD as well, again, based off discretion. Also had XRP USD, EOS USD to the downside as well over on ByBit. So it's been a busy day, man. It's been a busy day. I often don't descend to the LTFs like this, but... you know, I happened to misstep on exactly when I got a little bullish on Bitcoin in the first place, and that's okay. False signal, looking at the volume, thought we were going to be good, looking for a breakout, didn't happen. Cool, moving on. Took an L on that. So, July had been rough, went to the lower time frames, took care of business, back up in the positive for July, moving forward. Back down, back to business as usual, as we say. Okay, so... let's pull up Streamlabs. Every time I click on something, I gotta do that. Okay, so yesterday evening at the daily candle close, I noticed a few things. We came down and we wicked off my tertiary baseline on Bitcoin USD. And it doesn't matter whether you look at spot, doesn't matter if you look at ByBit, doesn't matter if you look at BitMEX, right? So I went ahead and on my regular exchange, on the exchange where I have the most capital on ByBit, I took the long position, right? That tertiary baseline has only, it's a strong level of support. It's only been broke when we got the false short signal over here anyways, which let us go flat because this could have resolved either way and ended up breaking up to the upside. And we talked about that at length. You guys can go back to those videos tracking this positional movement right here. For example, getting in here on the long, going, you can see that we held the 13, but this tertiary baseline has only gotten violated once. So here's my point. If the tertiary baseline gets violated, this would be the 1. Let's see here. False break, 2, 3. This would be the 4th test of that tertiary baseline and really the primary baseline in totality. But we're just having a little expanded volatility moving beyond the primary baseline in this current stage of the market cycle. And that's fine. That's totally fine. Primary baseline is there for a very specific reason because it gets us into trades at a good point in time. But if we add a little nuance and look at our tertiary baseline, we can get a little bit more information on market direction and come up with a better bet, come up with a better edge. So this tertiary baseline, again, we've talked, this is delving into the realm of TA that I don't normally deal with. But in my opinion, if we break this tertiary 21 EMA, my tertiary baseline, I don't think that we're going to get another fake out consolidation. Is it possible? Absolutely. But when we break our baselines like that, when we break our baselines, then the position is to be flat in the market or to be looking for a short, especially when you see pretty much something like this, right? If you look at this period of consolidation, which is exactly what I called for after we had this big down movement, here we have a high, significant pullback, a higher high, a higher low, consolidation, and a breakout. So it seems more logical from a price structure standpoint. Over here, on the other hand, we have a blow-off volume top higher than anything we've seen in a very long time. Look at the massive volume coming in on this up candle. We have a dramatic shift down to the daily baseline, which holds, consolidation that breaks, tertiary baseline holds, lower high, lower overall high. We are still forming higher lows, but again, putting in a lower low, putting in a lower low would be more significant, maybe indicative of the fact that we're going back to that 9K level. But again, breaking this tertiary baseline, I don't really see much else for us to go than our secondary baseline. That's currently coming in at 97.56. I mean, a lot of people are calling for 8.5K, and I could see that. If we make a lower low on the daily, right? So we have our long wick coming all the way down here to 96.26, which would be lower even than our secondary baseline. So let's talk about that target if we violate the secondary baseline. But we're still worrying about violating the primary and the tertiary right now. So So from my standpoint, looking from a risk to reward perspective, if we break this tertiary baseline now, we're probably going down to the secondary baseline. That'll be the trade that I'll be looking for. That'll be the short setup that I'm looking for. Okay, just as I talked about yesterday, feeling overall more bearish than bullish. But if we are going to either V bottom up out of this, or if we're going to consolidate, break to the upside, or just get more chop, right, which is what we've gotten a lot lately. Again, ever since we had that big down movement, I said about a month of consolidation. But again, you just want to play the spreads as you possibly can. Again, that's why we've been doing a little bit more activity on the 4 hour over the last few days, because we want to take advantage of the range. But again, on the daily, when you're ranging, very dangerous, very dangerous. So we need to be able to identify that. And that's why we have filters in the first place. It's not like we have to do anything different trading PTP, because the system is already set up to filter out the bad trades. But if we want to be able to trade in a range, we're probably gonna have to go down to a lower time frame. I mean, that's fine if you don't want to trade in ranges where your system is not optimized and you want to trade on the daily for the specific purposes and perks and benefits of trading on the daily baseline, mainly that you own your time and that your time doesn't own you. That's totally fine. This is just a situation in the market where you're going to be flat, we're going to be chilling, we're going to be enjoying all the profits that we've made on this run up to the upside, and you'll wait for the next big signal on the daily to come. But right now, for those of us who want to be a little bit more active, you go down to the 4 hour and trade there. So anyways, took the reversal trade off of the tertiary baseline, took price to the upside, got an average entry right at that 21 EMA yesterday. So in profit on that. I took Ethereum to the upside as well for a second reason that we'll get into when we get over to Ethereum. And I feel pretty good about that. We'll see if we just get hammered down right now, and we'll go through my updates here in a little bit. So we're up testing the primary baseline on the daily. I will feel better about the position if we get this nice good close above it. WADA is not going to help us out in this particular regards on the nature of the trade that I'm taking, but I will say this. Brief dip down below the zero line on CCI, and that had not happened before since we got the long signal to go long in this area right here. As we can see, Minx prints the long signal. WADA TAR gives us the go ahead here, so we're off to the races around this point in time right here. Now, let's see here. So WADA, from a standard daily PTP perspective, WADA is telling you not to be looking for a trending long. That's telling you that you're in consolidation. You've broken the baseline. There's no short signal yet, right? Minx is now below the zero line. So if we do now close below the daily baseline, with price looking like this, it'll be a strong short, right? So we won't actually have to wait for the tertiary baseline to get violated. I'll feel pretty confident about taking the short if we now violate the daily baseline, with WADA giving us the go-ahead, with CCI having dipped below zero for the very first time, now popping back up. But we'll see if this is going to be a fake out long, in which case, again, it's not going to take me very long to know, because if we close back down below the baseline now, I'll be in profit already on my long. Best case scenario, I'll take that off and I'll switch to a short and look to take price down to 97.56. But again, that's unclear right now, so I'm just taking the trade as I see it. In my opinion, from an R to R standpoint, if we're going to bounce, we're going to bounce off the 21 EMA. We're going to bounce off the tertiary baseline as we have done before. And if we don't, then price is very weak, i.e. the trade is to the downside. So it's the last opportunity to really take a long that we'll have confirmation for on the LTFs, on the meso timeframes, I already have confirmation for them on the lower timeframes. But we'll have meso timeframe confirmation soon. So jumping the gun a little bit, adding a little discretion, and that can help you out when you've got good experience. I saw somebody ask something about what are my thoughts on the 60% move on BTC shorts. I talked about that for literally about 30 minutes yesterday. I covered over, so just go check out yesterday's video. There's a timestamp in the description that'll take you right to it. I covered why it happened, who did it, what Bitfinex said, why Bitfinex went down, what it means for price. All right, so Justin just said violated 6 times in 2 minutes. Woo, man, I was about to do I was like rub myself or something. All right, moving on. Today's show sponsored by Brazzers.com. Not a sponsor, but could be. Okay, guys. Let's go down to the 12 We'll go down to the 12, and this is also what I pointed out this morning. On the 12, giving a little bit of support to my daily tertiary baseline bounce trade. On the 12-hour, getting the secondary baseline bounce trade setup, as you can see. Didn't actually come down to strike the secondary baseline, but came in very close proximity to it, as we can see right here, giving us a nice little setup. Now, currently, came right up to the 12-hour baseline and is currently rejecting, but on fairly weak selling volume. So here's what I'd like to see for confidence in my long from a price action perspective. I'd like to see price come down a little selling pressure. The selling pressure seems weak, so I like that. That's good. It means the buyers are stronger than the sellers right now, even though the sellers are trying to sell at a point of resistance. Logical. Price comes down. We form a higher low. Or I'm cool with us wicking out. I'm cool with us wicking out degen longs that have set a way too tight stop. My stop's nowhere near this level, so any long wick on any long wick's not going to take me out. Plus, I trade on ByBit that doesn't have wicks like that, anyways. I'm cool with degen longs getting wicked out because they're dumb to set their stop loss there, anyways, because they didn't enter at the right spot. But I'm cool with us forming a closing lower high base. All I care about is the close. If we form a higher lower close. Right. Higher low with a close, yes. And then breaking the baseline on the 12-hour. That'll make me feel pretty confident about the setup right now, and it'll be a good trade. That'll also be pretty gosh darn congruent with hitting a take profit. As soon as we break this 21 EMA, you can see I got an alert set right there for when to snag some profit off of this. Now, let's go down to the 4-hour. So 4-hour, similar thing. The 4-hour violating. Hey, browsers. The 4-hour violating the secondary baseline, getting a nice pop-up on a fuck you candle up to the secondary baseline. We can see this confluence of all our baselines right here on the 4-hour time frame, getting the primary and secondary baseline cross under. And as you know, when that happens, I think that's significant because it dictates trend. But generally, you get consolidate. You don't always have to, but you get consolidation where the baselines kind of fluctuate a little bit before the trend really picks a dominant direction because you need redistribution from the initial sellers. You need the whales who don't move as fast but got a ton of coin to offload their positions before price really starts tanking. So just watch this area of consolidation real quick. Again, ideally, the best thing I like to see is, as we can see on the 4-hour, a higher low. I want to see what the buying pressure looks like. Nothing really indicative right now. Today might be a lazy day, but I would not sit on your laurels. I'd have your alerts set today, and I'd be ready for a movement. I'd be ready for a movement, just like I am. So, going into the weekend, I'm going to, make sure that I'm hedged up. Everything is good. But again, of course, we're probably going to get a lot of volatility going into Saturday because we've gotten a lot of volatility on the weekends lately for reasons that I've covered in the video. It was like a week. It's like a week ago I covered it. The title of the video is why the weekends are so volatile. Make sure you guys go check that out as well. I break down exactly why mathematically the weekends are more volatile. Key point, long story short, there's less volume. But I highly recommend you go watch that video clip to get a better understanding of why lately the weekends are so volatile. Andrew, hey, with the Fed meeting, dude, that's the time when you kind of want to, that's a couple days you don't want to trade FX, man. I put on a couple trades. I only put on, with knowing that was coming up, I only put on 2 new trades, got smoked on them, I'm not going to lie. And I was like, nope. Still up 4%. I'm going to lock that in. I'm going to start trading Forex back on Monday. Burning Legion, what's up, brother? Good to see you, man. What's the price of the baseline on the 24-hour candle is 11,539 on the daily chart. All right, so pretty interesting stuff coming in here from Bitcoin. Now, I feel like these timestamps aren't right, but I could be wrong. Who knows? Really, Kendi? Interesting. Have you thought of Muralax, my good man? Maybe some squats when you wake up. A public service announcement, guys. That butt's going to be with you your entire life. 20 squats when you wake up keeps you looking good in gym shorts. 20 squats a day keeps the retirement home away. Okay, let's get over to Ethereum, guys. Ethereum on the daily. Ethereum on the daily, same thing. Here's Ethereum on the daily. Dukalax. Now I'm going to go listen to No FX. Yeah, man. When in doubt, No FX. I feel you, man. Sorry to hear that, Ken D. Well, I mean, sorry to hear you had a scare, but hopefully you're doing good, man. That's, you know, that's one of the big killers, man. Time to go to that all-meat diet, brother. Okay, so Ethereum on the daily, value of the daily baseline, 268.95. Very similar. Took a long trade. Took a long trade off the secondary baseline over on ByBit as well. Took the position to the upside. The R is there. Doesn't really, I mean, it does matter, obviously, if it wins or loses. And, you know, obviously in P right now, so that's okay. But the point is very similar with Bitcoin, actually more cognizant over here on Ethereum. I mean, that's the last bastion, man. If you violate the secondary baseline, all that other stuff's nonsense. I mean, yeah, you can pull up your traditional TA stuff, you know, your 100 simple moving averages or your 200, you know, simple stuff like that, your 50s and all that. Sometimes it works, sometimes it don't, you know. When it does work, everybody's like, oh my God. But these lines tend to work really, really well. And they're not even really generally intended to be used as levels of support and resistance. They're there to identify the trend. But if you break that level, man, it's you know, longs are there only on ranging time periods. You've lost utterly your bullish momentum, your long-term bullish trend momentum. And for a long-term trader, for a positional trader, for a investor, that's the moment in the market where you're like, beep. No, so not really for an investor. An investor would just continue buying into the dip. But for a trader, for a positional trader, somebody who scooped up Ethereum at its first sign of trend, for example, right down here, you know, violating that secondary baseline, you know, for me anyways, it's like, burp, that's when you're out, man. Which Disco channel can I post an image? You can go to the Meme Wars channel in the, Depends on what the image is. If it's a chart, you can go to Trading Charts, man. Bitcoin is money. Wall Street vet schools Donald Trump. Nice. Let me grab that URL from you, man. Get into that in a bit. Oh, yeah. Let me check that out, brother. Let me see that whiskey collection. All right, so pretty conservative stop loss on this one. Not where degen longs are going to be, but in an area where, you know, if we end up closing below it, it was the wrong trade to put on, and we'll be looking for that short position. So again, not getting as heavy as a buyback over here on the 12 as I'd like to see, and again, seeing that same confluence coming in on Ethereum that we saw over on Bitcoin on the 4-hour, where we've got all our baselines converging and looking to threaten the cross under. Again, we generally get consolidation, but as we can see in this period, this would really be the consolidation on the 12-hour chart. So we'll see. Going down to the 4-hour, coming up to the baseline of the 4-hour chart, currently rejecting on some okay selling pressure, not a lot of volume. So we'll just see what the follow through looks like, man. Just be careful with your degen. Actually, that was a take profit on the previous short. So keep your degen. If you're going to take a degen long, this is where your stop loss is going to be, and that's not the trade to take. The trade to take is going to be a good R to R, well-margined swing trade to see if we're going to have a significant bounce off this level, and then waiting. Okay, it's not. This was the degen long, right? That trade is done. That's a 5% bounce. That trade is over with. So if you're still in some degen long, 25x leverage, it's time to get out, buddy. Doesn't matter if price continues to go up. If you're still in that long, smart money has already taken their profits. That's what this candle represents. That is smart money taking their profits on the degen long. You can see the wick here, and then it goes all the way down. That's profit taking. So now we'll see if the next. That's when the next. We have to see now whether the next wave of buyers is going to come in and continue to push price up. Because the shorter EMA gives you better signals, you don't use regular moving averages. No, yeah, you're right. I use EMAs. I use baselines for a very specific purpose. IRS confirms It has trained staff on finding crypto wallets. Yeah, guys, we covered that too, man. Title of the video is how the IRS is coming for your Bitcoin. I mean, they are. I mean, if you're an American trader and you haven't reported your crypto taxes, you better do it. I mean, you are free to make your own decisions. I am a libertarian. I lean toward crypto anarchy. You will not find somebody more, stand on your own ground and bullets, bandages, and MREs than me. But as a trader, my income relies on my trading. And if I want to take a fundamental stand and then all of a sudden I can't provide for my children because I, as a dumbass, decided to not pay my taxes, that's not the right way to protest. All right? All right? If you want to do something, now here's the thing, I'll make this statement. If you want to do something illegal to protest against something that you think is fundamentally wrong, I have nothing but respect for you. You are the individuals that make a big impact on the world. I'm not going to take that away from you. But if you have a family, that is irresponsible of you to do. It is irresponsible of you to do, because once you take upon the responsibility of having other people depend on you and you do something illegal, you are now violating your contract to that other person to protect them. Okay? If you want to be on your own and a rogue, that's cool. Hats off, bro. I wanted to be when I was 18 too, but I have children and I protest in a different way by trying to change hearts and minds. Eli Bak, man, thanks so much for throwing the other 5. Average entry has been 100 sats. What would you do when BTC is this unpredictable? Let's take a gander, man. In general, like, I haven't put on alt BTC trades for a few days now. Just when you have, this is important psychologically, man. On daily time frames. There's a lot of guys in the group slaughtering the lower time frames. My focus is mostly on the big pairs right now, figuring out the next big stage of the market cycle, whether it's going to be long or short, and then acting appropriately. I am always more profitable when I'm trading in the direction of the dominant trend. That is my entire edge and strategy, right? Is managing positions in the direction of the dominant trend. That allows me to feel very comfortable and in pocket when I'm taking on trades on other assets. So. Maybe some Rage Against the Machine would be some decent background music for Monday. I can't play anything that's copyrighted. But actually I just talked to, I didn't actually talk to Scott about it, but I talked to myself about it to talk to Scott about, is making like a chill beats playlist instead of just EDM. Doesn't have to be EDM all the time. Chill beats, maybe some rock, mellow stuff, right? Gotta pay your corruption fee, slaves. Burning Legion, 33 no kids so I can fight the war. Ha! Get him, man! Artilla, thank you so much, man. Eli, let me finish up with Ethereum, and then I'll hop into, let me hop into Digibyte for you, brother. And that's pretty much it, guys. Waiting to see what the buyback looks like, seeing if we can push above this 4-hour baseline. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Took the reversal trade on Ethereum and Bitcoin. I still have over on BitMEX, I still have the XBT USD short position held open. And that's pulled me in quite a bit of sats, quite a bit of dollar value as well. And I've also got a hedge up on my USD value as well. So tell Scott to make a pumpkin metal mix. Bitcoin, Litecoin. Right, something like that, yeah. All right. Okay, so let's go over and look at that Digibyte. DGB-BTC for you, my brother. All right, here we are on the daily chart. Daily chart doesn't look amazing. There's no clear signal yet. You haven't gotten the volume spike to get you into the trade. Price is consolidating, price is flat, it's lazily listing to the upside, the EMAs are tightening up, they're just starting to go flat. Typically, we don't see breakout until at least our primary baseline goes completely flat, right? And then we generally get a little bit of rejection, but this could be gearing up to do something, man. And again, I'm not looking at this now, I'm looking at this from the lens of PTP, but I'm also looking at this through the lens of experience. And generally, when you get price structure like this, right, the EMAs go flat, volume starts picking up, you get a nice breakout, you get rejection from the tertiary, maybe the secondary if the secondary is really close, and then we have a nice run pop-up, right? Try to do it here, fails. Try to do it here, here, here. you know, I'm pretty hesitant on big movements in alt BTC pairs. When they trend, right? When they trend, they trend. So you always want to be taking advantage of those trending behaviors, because when they trend very well. Again, make sure you're always looking at the alt to USDT pairs though, to see how much money you're actually making from a dollar perspective. But, oh shoot. You know, Wadatar has flipped bullish. Minx is kind of flirting with crossing above. Nah, not really. Minx is pretty far away from the 0 line. CCI is flirting. Not really. I take that back. You know, the way that I trade, man, I don't like trades like this. I know that, and I say this all the time, right? I'm like, nope, it's not above the baseline. It's not a trade that I would take. I say this a lot. People don't understand the way that I trade. People don't trade the way that I do who watch the show, who aren't in the group. And they're like, what do you mean, man? Price is cheap. And then it pumps like 20%. And they're like, ha, you were wrong. It's not the way I trade, man. I don't trade reversals 9 times out of 10. I trade trends, and there's no trend here. The trend is, this is consolidation, which is the, you know, anti-ness of a trend. There's no trend. So I need to see the breakout before I put my capital there. But let me give you some more helpful information, man. Said average entry of 1,000 sats. What would I do? Or 100 sats. That's a pretty good entry, man. How'd you buy it? Oh, okay. Did you buy what? When did it go down 100 sats? Did you say 100 sats? Okay, yeah. You really were scraping this thing up off the bottom, dude. Patient, discipline. Setting them limit orders. Hey, Benjay, thanks for watching, man. Justin, so are you leaning towards a short standpoint at the moment for Bitcoin? So I'm in a long on Bitcoin. I'm in a long on Ethereum as well. It's not that I have a lot of faith that price is going to break and we're going to continue the dominant trend, but this is the last stand for us to take a reversal long, take price to the upside a little bit. But overall, I'm feeling pretty, I mean, long term, like what I think is going to come in the near future. Yeah, I'm leaning short, man. I think the trade in the very near future is going to be short. I should hit up Nathan Explosion, man. Yeah, by the way, let me go look at that whiskey, bro. Let me go check that out, man. Let's see where you put that. Did you put it in Meme Wars? Michael Pell, man. Whatever you just posted there was awesome. General chat, trading chat. Where's it at, man? What channel is that in? Technical analysis. Oh, the live stream chat maybe. Where is that? Live stream chat. Oh my God, that is gorgeous. Make sure you guys can see that. Love to see you in there, man. Whenever you want to hop in, Philip. That is nice, man. That is nice. That is dedication. I mean, backlit cabinet. You got to get you some. You got to get you some nice. I mean, the next investment, bro. You need to get some. It looks like these are metal shelving units. You got to get that nice, polished wood. You know, good smelling, scentsy stuff up in there. Yeah, man. Different kind of lights. Pay somebody to make a. You know, get one of those interactive touch screens and pay some video producer to do a, you know, welcome to my whiskey collection, starting back in 1830, you know, like some shit like that. But that's awesome, dude. That's awesome, man. Whose house is that? And why am I not invited? That is for guys. It's not for drinking. It's for conversation piece. The Hawkeye vodka is for drinking. Mac W, what's up, man? He says, hi, just in case. I went on an XRP last night. What do you think about the short-term trade? Let's go check her out real quick, man. Sorry, Digibyte. I got to finish Digibyte for Eli, dude. Eli, sorry, man. It's not a trade that I would have on. But, I mean, the R to R here, I see the R to R. I mean, you're extremely close to support. You know, here's the psychological danger of this. And this is the problem, in my opinion, with taking reversals. If the whales want to take Digibyte short, then they'll take it short. If they want it, I mean, they can't really take it short. But if they want to sell off their Digibyte, then they're going to sell off their Digibyte, man. When something is making new all-time lows, you generally expect it to continue making new all-time lows. This thing hasn't made a higher high since March. And it hadn't done anything since July of the previous year. And it's just been a straight line down. This is rough, man. This is rough. So, you know, because for example, like what happens psychologically when you're holding a trade open like this, where you're like, okay, yeah, man, this is this is the bottom. This is consolidation. And then this is what always happens. Price ends up like coming down here and you're like, oh, it's just a stop loss hunt. It's just a stop loss hunt. And then it makes another candle down here, and you're like, oh, it's a big stop loss hunt. That's a big stop loss hunt. It's cool, man. And then it makes another candle down here, and then you sell, and then it like comes up here, and you're like, oh man, I'm stupid, man. You buy back in here, and then it comes back down here, and you're like, oh my god. That's, you know, it just always seems to happen, man. Just always seems to happen for some reason. When you know, in my experience. And a lot of other people where they've thought, oh, this is the bottom, man. The bottom's in. I mean, the odds of somebody catching a bottom is very, very low. So, you know, and again, you know, I'm going to say this. Whether or not the trade works out, it's not something that I have open. I think you've got a little bit of a profit right now. So you get two options. You're up 6%. So you've got, you know, you're up 6%. It's not a bad trade. It's not really what we want with alts. I get that. We want 50%. You know, determine a price where if price closes below this level, you know, you're going to be out of the trade. I would say for me, if two candles close below 96, I'd be out of the trade and you take the L. Otherwise, you can put your stop loss at break even, take some profit, get stopped out of break even. Or, you know, maybe things will go out well. We break above this baseline, we break above this tertiary baseline, and we run up here to the secondary. Let's go to the 4 hour. Yeah, I mean, I guess a closer perspective is if we go down to the 4 hour chart, I'd be looking at this price level right here, like 102. If you close a candle below there, I'd be out of the trade because you're not going to have 4 stop loss hunts. I mean, maybe you get a wick down here, but 1, 2. Looking for this range high up. Yeah, I could see it. Kyle Mitchell says, buy high, sell low, and get wrecked. Glad to be back, Mr. J. Kyle, good to see you, brother, man. My man. My man. Looking forward to trading with you again, good sir. Okay, ZERP. And then we've got, man, is it 1254 already? You mean we talked about Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Digibyte for an Aura? For una Aura? Eine Stunde? Me got's. All right, how do you say 1 hour in Russian? 1 hour. Let's look at ZERP USD on the old Finexico. You said you took it long last night. Carribean crypto show. Have I looked at Bet? I think you mean Bet BTC, brother. I'm ticking everybody off by looking at these altcoins. So I love you, man. Let me toss that toward the end. I started late. I only started 5 minutes late. Maybe I started 10 minutes late. For YouTube wouldn't come in, Twitch, DLive, Facebook, all popped right up, over at the Roku. They're like, and Andrew says, Elliott Wave Analysis says, extended, flat. Artilla says, earned USDT. Yep, man, let's toss that in there. All right, we're going to have to go to break here in a second. Yedden? Un vodka, I believe. Vet BTC. Gotcha. Earned USDT. Artilla. 1 hour in Russian is bliat. In Polish is kurwa. Did you just make me say something offensive on stream? Apologies to any of my foreign brothers out there, man. I'm just a dumb American. I only know how to speak Spanish and German and a little bit of English. Just a little bit of English. In the 80s, at least 1 hour in Russian was, we have a new prime minister. Jesus, you guys. Get me banned over there in motherland. Zuka? There, that sounds about right. Like Zima. Zerp on the daily. Having that nice bottom bounce. I'm in a fairly profitable short from a higher level, so I'm going to see how this plays out. If you took the trade like anywhere around here, then hats off to you, man. You're coming up upon baseline resistance, so this is definitely an area where you want to take some profit, move your stop loss to break even. And, ideally, you're looking for doop, but, you want to manage the trade appropriately. All right, guys, so let's get ready to go to break, man. Let's get ready to go to break. I'm sorry. When we come back, when we come back, I guess maybe we'll do things a little bit differently. When we come back, we'll get into the news of the day because I really want to touch on that, man. I've got some really big opinions about what's going on today. And then toward the end of the show, we'll hop into our Forex and our commodities and kind of get ready for the close of the bell here on Friday and getting ready for what we're going to do moving into the weekend. Obviously, Forex market's going to be closed. Forex markets are closing here in about 4 hours. And getting ready for what we're going to be picking up on Monday because we won't be putting on any positions on Sunday because that would be the open of a new candle and we don't trade them. We trade before the bell closes. So. All right. Let me get myself a single malt Sanjeev. Yeah, brother. All right. Okay, so before we go to break, one of the questions that I'm frequently asked as a trader is what exchange do I trade on? What metrics do I use to evaluate an exchange? And I always say the same thing, security, ease of use, and customer service. I trade Bitcoin futures on ByBit because they check all of those boxes for me. If you guys would like to check out ByBit for yourself, if you're tired of getting wicked out over there on BitMEX, if you're tired of not understanding where all your money is going and why you don't have as much money as you thought you made in a trade over there on BitMEX, I highly recommend you check out ByBit. It's where I trade, and that's for a very good reason. You guys can sign up at bybit.crackingcryptocurrency.com. If you use that link, they'll give you up to $60 in free margin to test their platform. Don't, it doesn't cost you anything. And you can test their platform out and decide for yourself, guys. Again, that's bybit.crackingcryptocurrency.com. Do the Pepti Taste Challenge and see if you want to make the switch. When we return, news, Forex, indices, E-minis, closing bell, sarcastic remarks. Don't go anywhere. Yeah. Yeah, what do you guys think of that? How do you like that layout? It's pretty slick, huh? Did that last night. Shout out to my metal fans back there. Not metal, classic rock. Come on, man. Got The Cure, got Green Day back there, got Nirvana. That's not really classic rock, but you know what I'm saying, right? There's some garage, there's some all kinds of stuff. Moving on. Moving right along. We've got some big stuff to talk about today. Big stuff to talk about today. I mean, depends on how you kind of think about it, but of course, oh my God, the world is losing their damn mind because Trump said something mean about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. So yesterday, Trump, as he does, tweeted out his random thoughts and rolling commentary on pressing issues, this time touching on Bitcoin. This is the first time that he has publicly spoken about cryptocurrency since becoming president of the United States. In short, he said that cryptocurrencies are not money, that the dollar is the next dollar, and that he's not a fan and they're too volatile. So he also criticized Libra, saying that it will have little standing or dependability and suggesting that U.S. regulators would have their way with it. I think that's a pretty good scene lookout right there. Yeah, I think that's working out pretty good. So he stated, quote, if Facebook and other companies want to become a bank, they must seek a banking charter and become subject to all banking regulations, just like other banks, both national and international. Now, it's worthy to note that Calibra, who is the wallet provider manager for the Libra coin, has already registered as a money services provider with FinCEN. Okay, so let's keep that in mind. So Trump, as many are keen to do, hopped on the Bitcoin is used for drugs and child porn, old tired hack bandwagon, stating that, quote, unregulated crypto assets can facilitate unlawful behavior, including drug trade and other illegal activities. No statement from President Trump yet on the correlation between cash seized by the law enforcement officials and drug arrestees. Correlation? Coincidence? I don't know. I've seen it in the movies, guys. Pretty sure they fill up those barrels of oil. Like they put cash in bags, vacuum seal them, put them in oil barrels, fill it with oil, drill them down, and then ship them down across the border, right? That's what I've seen in the movies. They weren't stuffing ledgers in there. It was cash. But maybe I'm watching the wrong movies. Don't know. Now, he ended with a typical rah rant about the United States dollar. Let's see here. Quote, we have only one real currency in the United States, and it is stronger than ever, both dependable and reliable. It is by far the most dominant currency anywhere in the world, and it will always stay that way. It is called the United States dollar. So listen, guys, don't be like all the lemmings out there that are losing their heads over this. This is absolutely meaningless from a fundamental perspective. First off, it doesn't matter what Trump says about crypto. Trump has a pretty immaculate track record of saying one thing and doing another. Secondly, Bitcoin doesn't need approval. It already is an unstoppable force that is slowly grinding its way to becoming its eventual destiny, which is the world reserve currency. There's absolutely no stopping it. There's no putting the genie back in the box. Bitcoin's already won. It's just a matter of getting there. And thirdly, even in the Trump administration itself, there are mixed signals. Steve Mnuchin, for example, Trump's Treasury Secretary, has been calling for stricter Bitcoin regulation since early 2018. Meanwhile, Mulvaney, who's his chief of staff, has been pretty lenient on cryptocurrency regulation, saying that we should be more lax on it, that we shouldn't try to suppress a growing industry. Fourthly, lawmaking is not the role of the executive branch of the United States government. That's the legislative branch, and they've got their own thoughts and opinions. That's who we should really be worried about is Congress. They're the ones that make the laws. The executive branch just breaks them. Now, that's how the system works. So really, this is just drum beating. It has nothing really to do with cryptocurrency. It has to do with the United States dollar and global economic uncertainty. When Trump does, I have nothing against Trump. I'm not somebody who leans toward the left. I'm also not somebody who's insane on either side of the aisle. I calls them like I sees them. Sometimes people are right. Sometimes people are wrong. I generally disagree on fundamental issues of philosophy and social structure with people who lean toward the left. But I can also disagree with the radicalism of individuals who fall on both sides of the aisle, right? Again, I lean toward libertarianism. So anything that promotes personal freedom, anything that emphasizes personal responsibility and discipline, that's where you'll find me at. You are responsible for your own life. We live at a day and age where if you are in the position where you are watching this video, the knowledge, the ability, the capacity of you to do something positive with your life, regardless of your economic circumstances, the ability of you to begin investing, regardless of where you are. I mean, for the love of God, Rob, there's so many options out there for individuals to build wealth, grind, hustle, and make a living. I mean, we live in the most gilded age in history. again, when Trump does good things, I give him credit. When he does bad things, I call him on it. Okay. And this is just drum beating. So this is neither good nor bad. This is just an American president in a time of global economic uncertainty, taking the podium and saying to the world, yeah, man, that new kid on the block's pretty cool. But, over here, the dollar, we're holding this down, man. We're the standard. We are the standard. And, Bitcoin's cool right now. But in a week, you guys are going to forget about that boy of summer. You're going to be back over here dating us, girl. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much my take on it, man. Man, hot coffee. Hot coffee. Okay, now coming off the back of this, U.S. Federal Reserve Chairman, Bitcoin is a store of value like gold. So just coming off the back of what I was just talking about with President Trump and why this is overall fairly meaningless, just to crystallize why one man's opinion is fairly meaningless, let's go to the opinion of somebody who is unarguably more intelligent than this individual. Let's go look at these contrasting statements from Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell. When asked about Bitcoin, in a public hearing, he affirmed its role as a store of value of a speculative nature, like gold. He noted correctly that Bitcoin is not a popular form of payment currently because so many are speculating on its price. However, when asked if it could replace money, he basically said, yeah, it could. He said that while Bitcoin global adoption has not yet occurred, quote, that's not to say we won't see it. And if we do see it, yes, you could see a return to an era in the United States when we had many different currencies. I would argue that the chair of the Fed's opinion on economic matters carries a little more weight than President Trump. Now, for the investors out there, the SEC in the United States has given its green light on a public token sale. All right, ICO, legal to invest in. If you're American, you can go do this. Again, I always feel like the need to say this, this is not sponsored. I'm just talking about news. I'm talking about things that interest me. And whatever you guys want to do with this information, that's fine. We've never done a paid review of anything on this channel, nor will we. The lucky winner of the SEC's green light is Blockstack. So a little history on Blockstack, because I read this article. I read a few articles. A lot of people didn't focus on this, so I had to go through records and actually pull up information and do research like an investor does. So Blockstack first launched their company under the name of One Name App back in 2014. Okay, they participated in the Y Combinator in the summer of 2014, and that is when they started their Series A funding. That closed in January 2017, and they got some pretty decent investors. They got some decent advisors and backers, including individuals like Naval Ravikant, Lux Capital, and Shauna Fisher. So for any of you guys who are familiar with the angel investing scene, those are some fairly, not massive names, but big names, right? Those are big names. Now, although Blockstack is an open source project, in September of 2017, they did become a public benefit corporation, PBC. It's a tax filing status like an LLC. On December 5th, a little bit before December 5th of that same year, they opened up a token sale that was open only to accredited investors in the United States. They closed that in December 5th, 2017, and they raised $50 million from accredited investors. Now, the purpose of the Blockstack the purpose of the Blockstack chain is to create apps without sacrificing your privacy. Now, it allows developers to pretty much build any kind of app that they want. It's 100% JavaScript. There's no back end. Kind of the nice thing about it is that there's no middlemen. There's no passwords. There's no databases where anything is stored. In databases that can be breached. There's no. Obviously there's weak points in any system, but not the standard ones that we're going to have with the backbone of the internet. All the private information is encrypted and stored completely on any user's personal device, meaning that you are responsible for your own security. If your device gets hacked, your information's out there, but you don't have to worry about, your information being on a public database or a private database that could get hacked, like Equifax. So this kind of removes the ability of the Equifax hack to happen. Correct me if I'm wrong. With Blockstack, you can get a biometric digital key. You can use that to unlock all your information on any app that you want to access, on any device that you want to access. There's no remote servers. There's no identity providers that they're relying on. This is all, it's not even in-house. It's all on your personal device. So there's no data storage servers. Every user stores their own data encrypted on their own device. It allows for Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies to be used on the blockchain for P2P payments. Some of their big apps that they already have are things like Open Bazaar. It's a P2P commerce exchange. Casa, which is kind of like Airbnb. AFIA, which allows you to manage your own health records. So what we basically have here is an SEC-approved Ethereum. Okay. Now, it's a relatively new project, so I honestly don't have that much of an opinion of whether it's good or bad. It seems okay. It seems decent. They got some good capital backing. They've got some good advisors, notably Ravikant. That kind of excites me a little bit. And also, man, just from a, kind of analytical standpoint is they got... This is an SEC-approved ICO in a crypto world where everyone's altcoin bags are bleeding out. So it might not be a bad swing. I don't know. I'm not telling you to do anything. Make your own decisions. As always, do your own research if you're going to invest in anything, if you're looking at anything to put money into, whether you're looking at taking a swing trade, make sure you know why you're doing it and have a good reason to pull the trigger or not pull the trigger. You guys do what you want with the information as you want. When you're looking at investing, as I've said many times, diversification and a balanced portfolio is the secret to success, not a get-rich-quick scheme strategy or a get-rich-quick trade or a degen trade or anything like that, man. Long-term thinking, long-term goals, discipline, and sacrifice are how you achieve what you want in the long run and live that life of financial independence that everybody is vying for. It takes discipline, it takes sacrifice. Let's see here. Ricky, I feel you, man, but I don't think there's anything they can do to stop Libra getting approved. Pretty sure Libra is going to be approved. Okay, let's go. And then again, this is their website, stackstokens.com, blockstack.org. Let's check out this I don't even remember. Is it Burning Legion? Somebody sent this to me just at the beginning of the show. Bitcoin is money. Wall Street vet schools Donald Trump after surprise tweet. All right, so this is Mark W. Yesko. This is Morgan Creek Capital Management CEO. He says, "Dear Mr. President, money is a medium of exchange for goods or services within an economy. Therefore, Bitcoin is, by definition, money. Some money is fiat, meaning it has no intrinsic value. That is paper or metal used to create. It is not worth much in terms of the value as a raw material. That is USD. Damn. Let's see here. Yesko points out that the dollar is a fiat currency, which means that it does not possess any intrinsic value. So Trump not treating Bitcoin as a form of money does not cut it, in Yesko's words. After all, Bitcoin is now being accepted across several verticals as a valid means of payment. Around 20 Circle K convenience stores recently started a pilot program to deploy Bitcoin ATMs in Arizona and Nevada. That's a pretty interesting article. Maybe I'll link this in the show. Actually, I will. I'll just go pop this over in the show notes. Cool. And touch on this a little bit, guys. I thought this was pretty interesting. Samsung has released an SDK for Ethereum development for the latest Galaxy smartphones. So for those of you guys who are interested in mobile development, for those, we talked earlier about Apple, integrating their new Basically improving the ability of individuals to program cryptocurrency-related projects on the iPhone. And this is just big because when mobile apps get development, when mobile apps are the most popular applications out there, everybody's using their phone every single day. Look at the explosion of the popularity of things like Uber. Look at the explosion of popularity of things like Robinhood. Again, like I've talked to some people about things like Webull, M1 Finance, Robinhood, and they're like, oh man, they don't got a desktop app. You got to do it on the mobile. Like, the new generation does not have that thought. They're like, man, all you need is mobile. Like, why the fuck would you ever use anything else? It's just mobile all the time. If it's not mobile, they're not interested. So just something interesting to point out, guys. I don't claim to be an expert in mobile phones, mobile phone technology, but an SDK is important. It's obviously like a suite of package for individuals to program Ethereum-based projects. So it just makes it easier for developers out there, meaning we're likely to see a lot more Ethereum-based apps that will be supported on the newest Samsung Galaxy phones. Is Libra a threat to Bitcoin in your opinion? No. Nope, I do not think so. I think that Libra will be huge. I think that Libra will be adopted more than Bitcoin, probably in the short term. Maybe the next, 5 to 10 years. I think Libra is probably going to be a pretty damn big thing. I think that Libra is going to have some pretty big competition from the rest of the FANG companies. They're going to try to use their own. And meanwhile, while they're all running around and trying to figure out what the best corporate crypto is, Bitcoin will chill in the background and do what it's always done, be a store of value, and continue to grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. And continue to be adopted by countries around the world. And again, just slow creep its way to just decimating everything in its path when it comes to a worldwide standard of money. All right, it is 1:22. So let's pop back over to the charts and do Forex market breakdown. Look at what we're going to be doing going into the close. All right. Long on the Aussie yen. Interesting. I wonder why we got the old style of alerts there. Oh, okay, so we got both. I'm gonna have to go back in the back end and fix that. But thank you so much. Stuff and Pie? Stuff and Pie. Hey, man, thanks so much for following over there on Twitch, brother. All right, so long on the Aussie yen. Comps on this, so we're good to go. Aussie dollar throwing up a nice long signal with some decent volume. Everything looks really good here. I think we're probably too high above the qualifying line to snag this up before close, but let's take a gander. We might be good. We might be good. It'll really depend on where we're at here in about 3 hours. Canadian Swissy, nothing to do yet on this. We are set up for a baseline bounce trade. CAD yen went long in the CAD yen, ended up exiting when I should have exited here, and I don't have to face this drawdown. Swissy yen, still no good signal, just really tight range. We'll probably get some expansion, but very difficult to determine a directional bias for that. Euro Aussie, throwing up a continuation short trade. Watch that one pretty closely. We actually got the signal from Wada Atari yesterday, which would have been a good short. Euro CAD, no strong signal right now. Euro Swissy. Nothing to do right now. Chop and pop, man. Short on the Euro Kiwi. Took that short trade right here on this continuation short signal. Getting about halfway down to my take profit. So we'll hold that trade open. Euro Pound. Took the continuation long here. Prices pull back down to the daily baseline. We'll see how it closes. Euro Yen. Not happy about this one, man. Price pulling down below the daily baseline. If we close like this, that'll be an L. Euro dollar doing pretty good. Looking at the sell limit right here. Pound Kiwi, nothing to do. Pound CAD, nothing to do. Pound Swissy, nothing to do. Rejecting off the daily baseline. Got a short order in on the pound Kiwi. Pound yen, nothing to do. Oh, sorry. Interesting. There was a continuation short signal yesterday on the pound yen, setting you up for a nice move to the downside. Pound dollar, nothing to do. Again, I took this one short, took my profits here, here, and here, just in the nick of time because price is popping back up. Might be getting a signal to go long in the pound dollar, but right now I would just expect rejection from the baseline. The Kiwi dollar's throwing up a long. That looks pretty good. Kiwi CAD got about, this will probably be decision-making time toward the end of the day, whether they're going to take this small L or not. Kiwi Swissy is throwing up a continuation long. Kiwi Yen threw up a continuation long yesterday. Dollar Canadian threw up a continuation short signal yesterday. Pound Aussie is throwing up a continuation short today. The dollar Swissy is a do-nothing trade. The dollar yen is a do-nothing trade. Get some fuck you candles coming in, man. Let's see, the Aussie CAD. Oh, okay, Aussie CAD ended up stopping out at break even for me. Okay, we'll cancel these orders. Aussie Swissy is throwing up a continuation long today, and the dollar yuan is a do-nothing trade. What do I think about Typerium Stipe partnering with Steam? You mean, I assume you mean like Steam, the gaming platform? That's the first I've heard of it. Andrew, you know, I've been kind of chilling on FX for the last few days. I think tonight might be a good night to put on some positions, though. Just like Verge's Price did with a partnership with P-Hub. I mean, maybe. That falls squarely into the realm of what we like to call around here. Maybe. Might be good, might be bad, man. At the end of the day, we all have to make our individual investment decisions. Don't need to justify them to us, brother. Hop on that train and ride it, bro. Call me when you're done. All right, let's go look at traditional markets and E-minis. We'll start off, as we always do, with our Owanda CFD on the S&P. Again, talked about this continuation long coming in on yesterday's candle, baseline bounce, taking that continuation long trade here, getting out on this candle, and now we would be back in a long trade on the CFD. Using that CFD, again, the long signal was there then for the E-minis. That continuation long closed. The CFD closed with a continuation long. So what do you do with that? You have your trades ready for opening bell. You take price to the upside. Boom. Okay. Continuation long coming in here on the daily on the NQ. Got to sit through a day of nothingness, and then you're up. See how it plays out. Same for the SP. Continuation long signal coming in on yesterday's candle. Move to the upside. YM. Dow having a good move today. I talked about this yesterday, how the Dow had been a laggard, man. How the Dow had been a laggard. Now making up for it. Going over to the Russell 1000. Tertiary baseline bounce. Not a daily baseline bounce. Although you could have taken the trade here. Give you 1 day. You'd be in profit. VIX currently sitting at 12.54. Keeps falling down, man. I don't like that VIX. Don't like that VIX. And GLD is in a no trade zone. Consolidation above the daily baseline. Continuation long signal here. If you took this trade at a 1 day of drawdown, you're back up at about break even. But I wouldn't be trading GLD right now. So let's go back over to our CFDs and look at precious metals and break down metals, commodities, and oil. But I repeat myself. Yeah, same thing. We had this unverified long signal, a period of drawdown. with a continuation long, believe it or not, and that would have been a good trade. But again, same consolidation pattern. See if we break the upside or not. No trade zone for me. Palladium, continuation long that would have not done well on Palladium. Palladium dropping below the daily baseline, touching the tertiary. Wada Atara telling you to be out of longs and be looking for a short. CCI about to signal a short. Minx about to signal a short. You know, Palladium's been a great ride, guys. Palladium's been a great ride. So chill out for a little bit. Silver's interesting. You know, nice little pop up, following gold along, consolidation, pullback to the secondary baseline. Got all our EMAs tightening up right here. No trade zone. See what happens. Platinum. Finally got the long signal on platinum, guys. Finally got the long signal on platinum. Yesterday's close. Up we go. Zao Zag, I wouldn't trade either. Bentley Crude, still bullish on crude, guys. Been bullish on crude for a while. We closed back above here with a signal to go long again. Corn. Let's see here. Corn throwing up a long signal. It's a little too high. I'd be wary of this one. Natural gas. Talked about taking that long signal. You're doing good. Resistance at the 55. 1 day of drawdown. Breaking above it now. Soybeans threw up a nice long signal yesterday. Unconfirmed, so we wouldn't have taken that. But those who jumped on the gun did well. But again, it is the overall average of the success of our trades, not missing any one trade. Sugar throwing up a continuation short to the downside that is confirmed. West Texas Oil, still very bullish on West Texas Oil. Trade was approved right here. Still be long on West Texas Oil. And wheat throwing up an unconfirmed long signal. Wouldn't touch it. And we've already done Forex. Oh, you know what, guys? I'm very sorry. I can't believe I just did all that FX analysis. Yeah, I shouldn't. I apologize, guys. This setup is just for news. This is where we chart. My bad, guys. First day I introduced the chart, I just ran through all those dang charts, and none of you probably saw a dang thing that I'm talking about. But, you know, hey, thanks for hanging out. Did I ever mention the secret altcoin I was looking to get in? I did in the group, yep. Reminds me of Guitar Hero back in the day. Yeah, it's a green screen background, brother. All right, so we've got some requests on here. We looked at Digibyte earlier for Mr. Eli Bak. Let's look at VeChain. To the Bitcoins. Again, just not really something that I'm interested in. Minx is signaling a take profit on your short, which is also a reversal long signal if you're trading reversals. We don't. So there's nothing to do here, man. There's nothing to do here. CCI is below zero. RVGI is crossing up as well in this candle, which is your exit for a short, and is also a reversal long signal. But again, we don't take those trades. You know, price finding a local bottom, bouncing back up on some good volatility. You know, precipitating with Bitcoin having to drop a little bit. You know, things getting a little bullish today. You know, the daily baseline acting as overhead resistance. Let's go down to the 4 hour, see what we got going on here. You know, big buy signal on the 4 hour chart, breaking above, bouncing right off of our secondary baseline. You know, we're above the qualifying line right now. Good volume. I mean, this could be breakout volume on the LTFs right here. I mean, we could take the 4 hour long on this. It's worth a try, but what do we got? ATR is 3 sats. That's normally always 3 sats. Yeah, I mean, we're way above the qualifying line, meaning the RDR is not there very well right now. Did this just happen? Is it because I started talking about that? Must be. You know, if we can close back below that 59 to 56 range, I could see trying to go for 3, 6, or 10 sats. Stop below the daily baseline pretty tight, around 55. Ricky Thompson, the exact opposite of that. So people with less money come in over the weekend, and that's why price moves more volatilely, because there's less volume in the market. Professional traders don't trade on the weekend generally. Correct, Light Rainy. Correct. All right. Erd to the tether. All right. Did get the long signal here for a 4-hour long trade, closing above the baseline. WADA confirming. Mink's giving you a long signal. CCI above as well. And you caught one nice good candle, brother. One nice good candle. Nice 35% movement from ERD USDT. If you're looking at a re-entry zone, right there. Let's go look at it on the daily. There's just not enough data on the daily. Let me go down to the hourly. Hourly got you in pretty good too. Hourly got you in right there. Bloop, 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 bloop. Oops. Coming down. Let's get rid of Quadrigo. Up. Down to the secondary baseline, up, down to the primary baseline, up, a little bit of consolidation. Best of luck to you, man. It's a pretty exciting one, though. Both the whiskey bond. So there is advanced material in there for people who know what they're doing. But, I mean, the point of Pathways to Profit, which I would say is why a lot of people join us, is to, if you have little to no experience, then generally you're going to be a little bit, you're going to need more hand-holding from one of our mentors as far as trade execution, which is fine in developing trader confidence. But we have a lot of people who have been trading for a long time who come in and learn how we trade, and they're like, whoa, you mean you could trade this way? I had no idea. Like, I got to unlearn everything that I knew about trend lines and fibs and nonsense and patterns and triangles and blah, blah, blah. Right, yeah, you got to just toss all that stuff out in the garbage where it belongs. But I'd say it's kind of a mixed bag, people that sign up. We've got people who are newer to trading, because we're one of the few people out there who actually take the time to walk somebody through how to build a strategy and actually how to learn risk management, how to back test their systems, how to know what you're doing before you jump into the live scene, before we start telling you, yeah, buy here, sell here, good luck. The green candles are when my strategy told me to go long, brother. Terry Robertson, thank you so much for joining us over there, man. Don't be robbing any sons, bro. Can I elaborate more? All the information, my friend, is over at premium.crackingcryptocurrency.com, or you can join the Discord and just ask anybody who's a member. But if you got a specific question, I'd be happy to answer it. Well, Erd's been a pretty good... Erd's been good, man. Herd's been good. Good movement. Good catch on the LTFs, man. I wonder if Midwest over there, by the way, I got to add this to my USDT list for when it is ready for some daily trades. Let's see here. So this is going to come in at 5 cents. That's going to go up about there. Yep. Midwest, you've been cracking on this one? Midwest has gained a small reputation as king of the lower time frames in the Discord. Makes sense from my state, you know. We raise them good here. Shout out, brother. All right. I mean, you know, just logically speaking, you're coming down to your tertiary baseline. We've bounced here, 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 here. You take a stab and look for it. Otherwise, you take a stab down at the secondary, and if that doesn't work, you're out of the market. Hold on a second. I'm going to go buy a couple thousand of them. I'm just kidding. I'm good. I'm positioned. No need to be looking for any new trades. Komodo pumping, Raven pumping, Lumen's pumping, V-Chain pumping. It's like they're watching my show or something. Somebody asked for Elastos. On Yobi. Wabi. What's this line here for? It seems like an arbitrary line. Ooh, this is some Ichimoku analysis. We got Kijun resistance. We got Tenkan support on the 3-day. Seems like those lines worked out pretty well. I am not going to lie. That's got to be from forever ago. Nice. Anyways. What's the green line now? Did the colors change? That is a green 21 exponential moving average. Colors are still the same, man. Gotcha, man. Gotcha, Midwest. It's all right. Can't get them all. Lastos USDT on the daily, I mean, doesn't look attractive on the daily. I mean, obviously you are at a price structure level of support, but that's not the edge that I look for trading in. You are well below the secondary baseline. You're also hinting at a baseline cross under right here with our orange and our silver lines, which I look at for long indications of trend. As we can see here, the trend shifts when we get that initial cross up. We have some consolidation, i.e. not a good time to be in the market. We have a long signal that would have failed you. And after something like that, I mean, this is a valid signal right here. Actually, this is, to be honest with you. Let's double check. Nope. Yep, I was right. It is this one. Yep. It is this one that is valid, so which you would have caught this, but it's a very short trade. And that's fine. And then you get a valid right here, maybe? Yeah, you do get another valid entry signal here. Catch that. Underneath. This is probably too far above the qualifying line to get into. Do get a continuation long here, which is painful for a few days, but you make it up in the end. Yep. Continuation long here if you miss that first one, and that gets you in for the nice ride. So just waiting. You know, people are going to try and buy a support. I hate doing that. That is the most manipulated area of price. If there is a line on the chart that is clearly visible, then that is generally the worst place that you want to try and buy or sell at, because that's a hot spot. So whoever has a big bag, whatever way they want to take price is where they're going to take price, man. Don, Back in 2009, when I created Bitcoin, what was my long-term expectation? Are you happy where Bitcoin is at the moment? You know, I'm not going to lie, man. I originally created it just so people could peddle, you know, drugs and guns on the dark web. But, hey, man, looks like it's going to change the world. Hoorah. Nah, man. You know, I've talked about this a lot. Like, who... Is there music on? Probably not. Nah, no music on. You know, I've talked about like what my thoughts are on who Satoshi Nakamoto is, or why I don't really care who Satoshi Nakamoto is, and I really don't. I wouldn't really like to know either, because, you know, the mystery is not only attractive, but it leads that, you know, anonymity to the entire space, the respect for digital privacy from a fundamental perspective, and I think is a big reason of why so many people are drawn toward Bitcoin. They learn the creator story. There's this magic thing. People want to be a part of it. It makes them feel important, because it does. It incentivizes autonomy. It incentivizes controlling your own digital privacy, taking personal responsibility, doing your best to grow the network, to grow the adoption, to grow the ecosystem. You know, it really does support, you know, all the precepts of libertarianism or liberty or freedom, whatever you want to call it. Morse code, what's up, man? Going down to the 4 hour for you, Mr. Sir, on Elastos. You know, this kind of looks very similar to that Digibyte chart on the 4 hour anyways. You know, big movement down, consolidation, bounce up, rejection initially. This actually looks worse than the Digibyte chart, though, because at least that one had the respect and decency to bounce up here to our 21 and reject, you know. But, yeah. This is not my trade. If there's something here, it's not for me. Ricky, that's the secondary baseline is the 55. I use all the defaults on CCEMA. You guys can just go use CCEMA. It's going to plug all these same things right onto your screen. You guys can go check that out at tv.crackingcryptocurrency.com. Make sure to give us a follow and a thumbs up. We appreciate it, but you are free to use those tools as much as you like. Man, coming in with all caps, Mr. Kobayashi. Definitely didn't want to have that message get lost in the text chat. Hey guys, so we're going to be wrapping up here pretty soon. As a professional trader, it is essential that I have control over all of my positions. You know, platforms like Binance, Coinbase Pro, Bittrex, they're pretty good. They provide us a lot of liquidity. They provide us access to the coins we like to trade. But unfortunately, if we really want to trade on them seriously, they just don't have a lot of advanced order features. So I use 3 commas. That's what I've used for quite a while. The reason I like 3 commas is because I can do everything on these platforms or trade directly on these platforms without having to use their interface, and also being able to use more advanced order features that I've become accustomed to trading regular markets, trading on more traditional exchanges. That's setting a take profit and a stop loss simultaneously. Putting on a trailing stop when I want to put on a trailing stop, so I can go to bed knowing if price moves up, I'm going to lock in some good profits, and if I go to bed and price moves down, I'm protected. It also lets me automate strategies through TradingView. If you can set an alert for an indicator, you can automate that automatically on TradingView without having to worry about using AutoView, which has lots of bugs and is dangerous to use, to be quite honest with you, or other systems that you don't know or trust. If you guys want to check out 3 commas, if you use my link, you can check it out for free. They'll also give you 10% off your purchase price. That's 3commas.crackingcryptocurrency.com if you want to try that out. 3commas.crackingcryptocurrency.com. All right, so if you guys got Justin giving away the secret sauce. Matt, what's up, man? People in the premium group are noticing that when I wake up in the morning, there are suddenly buy and sell walls of 1,000 or more. I'm not fooling you. Mr. Kobayashi says, sorry for the caps, man. I used big glasses. Look at my phone. No, it's cool, brother. If the 12-hour Bitcoin candle closes a higher low, is it a good long entry? Matt, let's check it out, man. It would help if we looked at Bitcoin and not Elastos, though, huh? I mean, I would say, listen, dude. I would say as long as we're getting back over to the daily, I think that as long as we're going to hold this 21, if we close above that daily baseline, I think that we can see some good price appreciation. So putting that into the context of the 12, I think as long as we are consolidating in between this range, between the secondary and the primary baseline, I think that if price dips low, that's probably a good opportunity for you to get in. Again, remember, just as with regular PTP trades, the closer that we are to the baseline, if we're going to take a long, or the closer that we are to the baseline when we're going to take a short, always is going to improve our trade. Because if we are wrong, with the exclusion, and they do happen, of a big fuck you candle, we don't have very far for price to go to close to invalidate our trade. So the closer that you can get down here is a good setup. So if you want to like set some limit orders down here around these lows, you know, maybe right here, maybe try to average in 50 to 30, or, you know, go for the breakout. If we do close above, maybe on the 4, maybe on the 1 would be pushing it, but maybe the 4, but you don't want to miss, you know, the scalp if it's there. A lot of noodles right there. All of a sudden I'm looking at all those white lines and I just got hungry for some shrimp pasta. That's my thought, yeah. So high or low would be good to see. Or, you know, I'd be comfortable, if I was looking for an entry, I'd be comfortable setting limit orders down here. You know, run the zone. Because again, the closer that you get to that secondary baseline, you don't have very far for price to go to invalidate your trade. And that's going to line up really well. So where's that 12-hour secondary coming in at? It's coming in at 10,926. And over here, we've got 11,203. About $300 difference, but I'd give precedence to the daily. You know, looking around 11.3 to 10.9. All right, guys. I mean, great show, man. Let's wrap it up, guys. Let's wrap it up. Thank you guys so much for joining me for another exciting episode of Breaking Bitcoin Market Update. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. That is. If you guys would like to join us in the group, if you guys would like to learn to trade how we do, whatever your experience level is, we're here to help you guys out. If you guys want no nonsense, experienced traders who will actually take the time to walk you through the process to actually provide you with content that is educational and not nonsense, buy here, sell here, good luck. Then you guys can join us in the group, premium.krakencryptocurrency.com. If you guys want to support the show, if you guys like the show, but you can't always catch it live, you can head over to breakingbitcoin.money and catch the podcast. We are available on probably the podcast catcher that you're using, assuming that you're using iTunes, Google Play Music, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, or Podbean. We're on there. Or if not, if you're using some obscure podcast catcher, you can add us to the RSS feed manually from that page, breakingbitcoin.money. We'd highly appreciate it if you slide on over to that iTunes radio store. Give us the 5-star review on the podcast. Does push us up in the rankings and gets this information in front of the, well, I guess in between the ears of those who need to hear it the most, because there's a lot of false info out there, guys. So anyways, guys, that's breakingbitcoin.money. And if breakingbitcoin.money is just too cool of a URL for you guys to type in, you can go to breakingbitcoin.krakencryptocurrency.com. That's it, guys. Listen, announcement. I should have done this at the very beginning, but I will not be here tomorrow. I will not be here Sunday. So no weekend shows this week, guys. I'm sorry. I want to spend some time with my family. Haven't been able to do it for a whole long time. I'm going to be trading crypto over the weekend, but I think we might go do something instead of just sitting around in the house all day and waiting for me to do my show. So we're going to go have some fun. I will see you guys back here on Monday at noon to 2 Central Daylight Time. Trade safely. and I'll see you on Monday.